And welcome to another edition, another topic of Cruising with the Coaches, conversation with Julie and Lee. Julie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing something for the second time ever. First time on our show, second time on any of the podcasts. But it's for a reason. It's for a reason. If you guys haven't noticed, rocking a lid. Okay? I'm rocking a lid. There's a reason for it, I promise. But before we get into that, have you guys been part of the heat wave like over this summer?
Oh,
Has it
for
hit?
sure.
So I'm curious, how do you hydrate? Because I know like it's not just water for me. I do water. You've heard of the body armor drink, right?
No.
It's kind of like sports drink. Oh, body armor. It's coconut water based, and I do
Oh,
coconut water.
okay.
So I was just curious, like how you hydrate, because it's really helped like me stay hydrated, along with water.
I have a pitcher. It's still water, but it's water with ginger and lemon
Oh,
and
okay,
cucumber.
gotcha.
So, like I
So you
said,
get
it's
the
still water.
refreshing, but see that I like the ginger, right? That's
Yes.
a super food for inflammation, y'all. Well, it's not a food; it's a spice, but um, works for inflammation. So
Correct. Correct.
okay, no, I was just curious because I mean we've hit the 90s and it's like 110 feel and this and that. You're like, it's ridiculous. So I was just curious, like how you hydrate, because people might want to know, how do I stay hydrated? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Um, you see the team that I got on.
Of course. There is
Just.
no other. Wouldn't expect anything less.
Whew. So it's
Rejoice.
acceptable.
Yes.
Acceptable.
Very
Okay. All
acceptable.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you guys haven't figured out what the topic is, um, we are going to be covering men, the traits of men who can't leave the house without a hat. And yes, I fall into that category. Um, is- any any thoughts before we move on?
As I
Um,
told you.
hold on, I gotta come out full camera for this.
It's not so much as I'm a big I always like, I look back at on these episodes, like, "Man, I sound so horrible." No,
Not at all. Not at all.
I
Not
sound
at all. Look,
so opinionated.
I
Um,
love it. I love it.
but, not so much men that I already know, more men that I don't know. Like, if you're a guy that I don't know very well, and I'm meeting you for the first time, or, and you're always wearing a hat, I kind of start to question, like, what's under the hat, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, are you
No, I
bald?
do. I do.
There's like, like, is there a spot? Is it like, because then
I
you're
get
like,
those questions all the time anyway. And
yeah,
I will say that people, if they know that I wear a hat all the time, because I work in TV, so you can kind of wear a hat, right,
yeah.
when you're working. If I take it off, people are like, who? Like, they get confused. I've
Oh,
had people
they
not
only know you with
recognize
the
me.
hat. They only know you with the hat.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. So, all right, that's fair. I'm glad you know me because it's oh, that was good. That was good.
Because
Nice recovery.
because
Go
there's
ahead.
also people who, like, the hat does make the guy, like you said, like,
Ooh, well,
there are
fair.
certain
Fair.
hats, like, you're like, "Oh, like, I can't imagine that guy without a hat."
Without.
Like, I
Yeah.
can't even picture that guy without a hat. So, then there's some
Okay.
guys who can put a hat on and you're just kinda like, "Yeah, take it off." Like,
You're like, no, it's not working for you. No. So again, acceptable. Yeah,
"Oh, of
acceptable lid.
course." Oh, yeah, yeah.
You guys, I know how to do it. I know how to do it right. That's oh, all right. Let's go ahead and jump into talking about these men who can't leave the house without a hat. All right. So the author of the article, Farley Ledgerwood, which it's got to be a pen name because if that's the real name, I'm like, okay. But he's got this habit, never leaves the house without a hat. And so he started thinking, is this just a pattern for him, or what's the pattern for guys who wear hats? What is this, right? What's this all about? Um, and psychology backed up his curiosity. There are certain behaviors that men who cannot leave the house without a hat they commonly exhibit, and it's not just the one off. This is like you got to go back in the house and get your hat if you forget, type thing. All right. So ready to go? All right.
Sure.
They value their individuality. So one of the most common traits seen in hat wearing men is a strong sense of individuality. These men, they view their hats as an extension of their personality, or it's a symbol that's unique to their style and individuality. It's also like a personal trademark, right? It sets them apart from the crowd. And in a world where everyone's trying to fit in, these hat wearers are embracing their quirks, and it's something different. Any comments on the first trait, my friend?
No. Mm-mm.
She said, "Yeah, hats no good, no good." This one I could really relate to as well. Creatures of habit. Another trait that this author noticed is that these men are creatures of habit. It could stem from the need for consistency or control over their own environment. The hat becomes this comfort in their lives. It's a constant. It's part of the routine. It brings familiarity and comfort. Um, so it's something that's dependable in an unpredictable world. So I want to come back out here for a second because I will say that probably 25 plus years ago is when I was wearing a hat regularly, right? And again, like we kind of talked earlier, people thought, oh, it's because you're bald or it's because you don't have no hair. Well, I was always cutting my hair off anyway, so it didn't matter, right? It wasn't that. But there's something about now, as you see, like my brim is bent, right? So I can't rock something that's flat. I gotta have some, I don't know, keeps me distant-ish, right? It's kind of like I'm in my own world here.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I've been doing that and I've looked back at pictures and it's like, yeah, I've been doing this for a while. So it's, I think this is the topic that I can talk about, you know?
Okay. Hmm.
Um, Anything you'd like to add about trait number two, about
I mean, I think it's funny
concealer or the
because
comfort?
just it's almost most of the men that I guess I have come across, if
Mhm.
it's a hat is a part of their uniform, it's more of a disconnect. You know what I mean? They make it a point to not wear it. You know what I mean? It's like it's their
Mm.
way of being like, I will not
I
be a
am
part of that.
done with the job. I am done with the
Exactly. Or they
so
wear backwards or like any way to make it so that they're not uniform with the man.
okay. All right.
Um,
So you've dealt with a lot of baseball play. No, I'm kidding.
but I mean, like, no, because like I guess in my world, it's more like
Mm,
office profession, so people aren't usually wearing hats. You know what I
sure.
mean?
Not on the day-to-day basis. If
Correct.
they're wearing it on a commute, it's gonna come off once they're in the door. So
Exactly.
I get
Exactly.
that. I get
Yeah.
that. Are you out on parole by any chance? No, I'm kidding, guys. Kidding. She's not on parole. She served her time. No. All right. Number three. The trait that men have that they can't leave the house without a hat is they're not fans of change. So many of us hat wearing men um, seem to have a somewhat strained relationship with change. It's this invisible force field around us that has us resist any form of alteration or change in the routine or lifestyle. The hat itself, right? Once you find that one, and man, I'm telling you, that's a thing. Once you find the hat and that fits, you're gonna stick with it. Um, it's not uncommon to see. us, these men, wearing the same hat for years, might even be decades. Man, that is truth, truth, and truth. Um, we could do a whole show just on hat. Well, I guess we are kind of, but
What we're doing?
yeah, I guess we are, right? But it's like the cut of the hat, in like I've had to get rid of hats because they were so worn. I really shouldn't wear them anymore. It's almost like your favorite pair of jeans, right?
Okay.
You get a pair of jeans that just fits right. That- That's the hat, man. That's the hat. I mean, look, Julie, I put it in the washer and it fell apart.
Okay. Okay.
So I did try to wash it. I did try to keep it clean and it fell apart. So I was like, oh, now I gotta find it. And I've got dozens of hats. It's not like I don't have more, but is that
Right.
one? That one,
Right.
you know? I was it's well, dare I say I love my hats more than I love my loofah. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I won't bring the loofah back, but I love the hats. I love the hats. Oh man. So yeah, not a fan of change. That's a real thing. Um Also about not being a fan of change, it's not just about the hat. This often goes to other areas of their lives, their job, their favorite restaurant, weekend plans. So again, maybe there is comfort in predictability. Maybe it's the fear of the unknown. But whatever it is, change just doesn't come easy to us who wear hats. Um, Now, this little interesting tidbit here. Um, it doesn't mean that we are rigid or stubborn. It just means we value consistency and stability over constant flux or change. So, not rigid, not I'm okay with some change, but I will make a note here. That's probably been a lifelong thing, and I can go all the way back to when I was like 4, when it was an experience that I had and change just didn't sit well, right? And from then on, those kind of things stick with you. So I really feel that too, right? Change has always been hard unless I'm prepared for it. But if you have something that you can just kind of help relax you, or with security, that kind of
I was
thing,
gonna say it sounds like it's a sense of security. That's
kind of
yeah.
like a teen in their hoodie in
Yeah.
95-degree weather, you know?
Right. Right.
It's very similar to that. Very similar to that. So, um, anything you'd like to add to the security of men wearing hats before we move on?
No.
No, you guys, I'm feeling kind of judged here. I'm feeling
Not judged.
no, I'm not. No.
I have nothing to share.
I know, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The judging part happened before the show. No.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh man. All right. Number 4. They appreciate the past. Excuse me. So many of the men or many people are drawn to the hats because of their vintage appeal. It's not just wearing a hat or donning it the way that it connects them to an era from the past. So it's a nod to the days when hats were essential part of man's wardrobe. They often have stores associated with hats, and each hat carries like this history with it. Wearing it allows the taker, the wearer, to have part of that history. It's not just about nostalgia; it's about valuing tradition and timeless styles. And in an age of fashion that's fast and fleeting, right? All these trends. So in essence, the hat is their way of keeping the past alive and in the present. I can say that that's not necessarily the thing for me. Um, like I do like certain hats that have certain style to them. I remember one year, we all know Indiana Jones, right? The whole Indiana Jones series. Love that hat. It's not quite I forget what it's called, a Stetson maybe, right? Kind of like this cowboy type hat. asked for one for Christmas and my sister got it. And then I was kind of let down by it. I was like, it's not what and put it on and just it wasn't me. It was one of those I had to take off,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the whole era, and I thought I would look good in it, and nah. So there's no pictures of me in it.
Well, I mean, it's definitely it would depend on the hat too, because if the hat actually brings character to the person, you know what I mean? Like whether
Sure.
it's a baseball cap or a
What is it called? The paperboy hats,
or even a cowboy hat, for that matter. Now there aren't too many people who can pull off the paperboy look. It may like you got to have like the nice beard and like there's all kinds of other pieces like that go with that. But
that's
like
right, the nice beard.
there's some gentlemen who, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like that is kind of like, and then you've got like if you got the pea coat too, like in the wintertime, like it's like, oh, okay.
Or if you have a look where you've got suspenders with the button down, and it's a look.
You took it too far. You did not have to read
I tried. I mean, I'm giving you style. I'm giving you fashion. I'm giving you trends.
Nobody's saying nothing about no suspender.
No, that's another show. That's another show. Suspenders.
But no, like if
I got you.
If you're like if the guy is really trendy as far as like what he wears, and then then he tops it off with the hat, then it's just kind of like, oh, okay, like I see you.
But just adds to
baseball hat that they just wear every day. It's just kind of like.
So the hat that fell apart in the washer for me is like, let it go, let it go.
Whatever. Don't nobody care about that, Lee.
but I did.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Clearly, no love. Well, let's take a break here, and when we come back, we'll talk about the rest of the traits that us men have in common that can't leave the house without a hat. And before we take a break, I forgot to thank all of our new subscribers, new followers. Like, we appreciate you guys. Let us know what you're thinking of the shows. Look at some of the old clips, look at some of the old shows. Let us know what you want us to bring up. This is conversations every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and go to break, and we'll be right back to finish the traits of men who cannot leave the house without hats. Hey, folks, welcome back from the break. Hopefully, you saw some of these spots. Go to honeybunny.boutique. They make all natural bath and beauty products. They do ship as well. And if you saw, there was an ad for cologne and you get a discount, 10%. Shameless plug, but yeah, that means you watch the break. So as we were talking about before the break, you guys saw that I was rocking a lid, and it was a bit warm. So I'm back to the regular show form, regular uh, recording as we do. But this show is about men and the traits that they share that cannot leave the house without a hat. Anything you'd like to add before we move on to trait number 5?
No. I literally
No, I know. I was gonna say, well, you're not a man who wears a hat, so I mean that's
and I can honestly, I've never dated.
that's
Not
so funny.
anybody who was religious with a hat. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right, right,
even
right, right.
when I was married, Jay wore a hat, but like that
But
was
didn't could
it
I,
wasn't a part of his body. Like, he didn't
yeah,
have to have it on. Like,
yeah.
um, I
I will tell you, I have left the house and didn't have a hat. I have gone to a random store, CVS, 7-Eleven, whatever, and bought a random hat just because I didn't have one.
because you didn't have one. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I have done that. Yep.
Now, I've been in situations where, you know, for purpose, yeah,
Yeah,
like
right, right.
if
Like
you're
if
at a
you're
golf outing or you're somewhere and
in the
the person
sun,
you're
yeah,
with
yeah.
is just like, oh
Mhm,
my gosh,
mhm.
like I need a hat. Like I
Yeah.
gotta have a
Yeah,
hat.
yeah, yeah.
Or
Having bad I don't have bad hair days, so we're good there.
you're on vacation and you're like, I need a hat, kind of a thing.
Right.
But like to, be leaving the house and like literally spin back around because I forgot my hat, or get out of the car because I need to get a hat. Yeah, I've never experienced that ever.
This guy, I
Yeah.
I will have come back to the house to get a hat and leave an umbrella.
Okay.
As I have done that. I've done, and then like, well, the hat will keep me from rain getting in my face. All right, we good.
Yeah. No. No. I've actually been more like dated someone or whatever, and like they're
Mhm.
wearing a hat for the first time, and I'm kind of like, what?
You're like, why?
What?
Like,
Oh,
or you're like, wait a minute, are you?
that's weird. Like you
Who
look different in
who
a
are you
hat,
hiding
kind of a
from?
thing. Yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, you look
Who are you
different.
hiding from?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you look different, kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah. I found it interesting when I saw this article. I was like, I wonder how much of that applies to me, or how much applied and changed over time. Because I
Yeah.
will say it's been a difference in 25 some years. You know what I mean? So, all right, y'all. Here's trait number 5. I think this applies to me 100%, and that's not true. But they find that guys who can't leave the house without a hat are often introverts. It's not that they're antisocial or shy, but this simply means that they feel more energized by spending time alone or in small groups, small familiar groups, rather than large, noisy gatherings. Wearing the hat can serve as a security blanket for these individuals. It's a barrier between them and these people, and it helps them navigate these social situations, right?
Okay.
It's also personal space and privacy. Um, but here's the funny part, right? According to psychology, wearing a hat can actually help reduce social anxiety. The reason, it gives the wearer something to focus on. So it diverts their attention away from potential stress. Now I thought about that for a minute. I was like, all right, it is there some type of social anxiety that I'm unaware of about myself? You
For
know?
yourself. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, because and I would say, like, when well, I was gonna say people, but it's mainly women are accused of resting face, right?
Right.
And it kind of gives you, or to get earbuds in or headphones on the gym, like that's a clear sign. Don't talk to me, right?
Right.
So if my hat is riding low and you can't see my eyes, there's no need to approach me, right? That's that personal space. That's what I was talking about before with the brim kind of bent to the side. That's my space. You don't need to be in here unless I'm coming to you. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe I am an introvert and just didn't know it.
And like I know when I'm speaking to a group, and if there's someone who has a hat,
Mhm.
like I know that someone is wanting to speak and hasn't like
Mm.
gotten the nerve to speak, type of thing, because they
Mhm.
start to fidget with the hat. And and
Mm.
it's just kind of like I'll start to make more eye contact with them, or I'll walk
Sure.
the room and like kind of like start
Kind of
tapping
get,
shoulder
yeah.
thing, and
Mhm.
get them to a place where they feel a little bit more comfortable, and then they'll speak. But like
Mm.
I have noticed that when people have been are wearing the hat, they
Mhm.
fidget with it more when they're getting ready to share. And
That makes a lot of sense
it
because they're
happens
breaking that
every
wall
time.
down. That it's starting to, yeah.
It happens
Interesting.
every time that hat comes
Hmm.
off, and they do that little like it's like okay, he's getting ready to share. Let me continue the conversation, and I'll take this question over here, and sure enough, boom, then they
The
share.
next answer.
Yep.
Note to self: do not wear a hat around Julie anymore. No.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good thing because
Yeah,
all right, they're getting
you
ready.
see
They're
these signs.
up,
Yeah,
they're opening up. So
no, that's good. That's well, that's I guess it also helps like the nonverbal language, right? Like people's body language, folding arms, or the way they sit. That's another way, another cue,
right,
without having to say, "Hey, do you want to share?"
right,
Without trying to force it. You know.
exactly.
Okay. All right. No, I don't want to share anymore. I'm putting my hat back on. Oh, yes. This number 6 is me all the way. I'm kidding, guys, but number 6 is the trait that we share is they're often self-aware. So whether it's acknowledging their love for tradition or understanding the need for routine or accepting that they're introverted, the men are in tune with who they are. They're not afraid to acknowledge their quirks and embrace them wholeheartedly. Wearing a hat is a reflection of this self awareness, and it's an outward symbol of their inward understanding of themselves. Say that fast 3 times. It might seem like a simple accessory, but to them, it's a statement of self acceptance. So, okay, I can get down with that. I think, and remember, I was talking about over time, right? I think that has actually changed for me over time, becoming more self aware and more comfortable in my own skin, right?
Okay.
So I can wear a hat and don't care who says what about it. This is what I'm doing. This is me. It's my style, whatever that is. You know what I mean? Um, is it bad that I've been in a church before and someone asked me to remove my hat? And I was like, well, it was, I would say it was a funeral, not a church. I mean, this funeral was in the church, and one of the deacons was like, "Can you take that off, sir?" And I wanted to say I'm grieving, but I couldn't play that line. So I removed the hat. I removed the hat. I did. I did. But
Yeah.
I was like, really? That's what we're doing here? That's
Well, you should. That's a form of respect to remove your hat.
is it? Is it
Yes, in a
really?
church. Yes.
Is
Yeah.
it though?
Yes.
If I'm grieving. Wait, I
No.
can't even say with I can't even say with a straight face. Is it really? Is
Yes, that's a form of respect. Yes, you should always
I
remove your hat.
I know, and I knew better. I was trying to get away with it.
Okay.
I'm being straight up. That's why, like, I saw him coming over too, and I was like, all right, okay, okay, cool. I got you. I got you. But is it really though? Is it really?
It is. It is.
In the moments of grief?
We all must do
Oh.
our part.
Oh man. Trait number 7. These guys who cannot leave the house without a hat, they are resilient. Their hat serves as a visual testament to their ability to stay true to themselves despite societal pressures and changing trends. It's a symbol of their determination to remain consistent and stable in a world that is constantly in flux. It goes beyond just the hat. This resilience is often reflected in other aspects of their lives, and they're the ones that keep going in the face of adversity. They find comfort in the familiar, and they are not afraid to stand alone if that means staying true to who you are. So just remember, it's not about the hat. It's about what the hat symbolizes: unwavering commitment to authenticity, routine, and tradition. So, whether you're a hat wearer yourself, like me, or you know someone who is, let's tip our hats to these individuals. Okay, that's pretty bad. But he wrote this, not me. He wrote this. But their resilience and self-awareness, it serves as a gentle reminder of the importance of embracing the individuality and staying true to ourselves. And as we move forward, let's carry this understanding with us. Perhaps it will make us more accepting of others' quirks and give us the courage to embrace our own. So I think that's fair, right? Like it's not just about, oh, I gotta have a hat and it's not a security blanket all the time. It's self assuredness. I know who I am. I'm committed. All those things. I was trying to make it sound good, but I don't think so. That
It's like, did somebody complain about you wearing a hat all the time? Is that where this is all coming from? Somebody
oh,
over your hats.
I promise, no one has a problem with my hats. If they do, I don't know about it. I don't know about it. But it was an interesting take about the traits that these guys share. Um, any last thoughts about men who cannot leave the house without hats, minus your co-host? Any last thoughts?
I mean, I I think it's a nice switch up. I mean, I don't know that it's probably not the best way to make a first impression with people is wearing a hat.
Mm,
Because I think it will look as though you're trying to disguise something.
that's
Um,
fair. That's fair.
unless obviously you meet somebody that way. You know what I mean? Like
If because then if you take the hat off, they're like, "What are you
right,
doing?"
like if you meet them that way, that's one thing. But like
Right.
if you make plans with somebody and then you just go and you have the hat on, like it's not always probably the best way to make a first impression. Because then that person's like, well, are they bald? Are they not bald? Or like, what's the situation? Kind of a thing. Because yes, women we do tend to overanalyze those type of situations. Does he have a strand that he just combs over, or what's his situation? Um,
Uh,
and it's
I don't have any strands to come over, so I'm
just being
good there.
honest. And for the most part, like literally, if you do just have a few strands, just go bald, guys. Like we rather you just be bald.
Cut
Um,
'em. Cut
nothing
'em.
wrong with the
Yeah.
bald man. Nothing wrong at all. But no, I just think it's weird to meet somebody for the first time
With the hat.
with a hat on.
And
That's
I guess I can see that because again, like if you're wearing it like me, right? If you're here,
yeah,
what are it's almost like being closed off, I would
correct.
imagine, right?
Correct.
Or and I don't want to say what are you hiding, but for lack of a better
You're
word,
not being
right?
open. You're not allowing yourself to be open. So
Right.
if I
Right.
can't see your eyes, I don't really feel like I can connect with you, kind of a
That
thing.
makes that makes that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, we hope you guys have enjoyed our deep dive into the traits of men who can't leave the house without a hat. And if you leave a comment that judges me, that's okay. That's all
It's
right.
okay.
I'm all for it. Because I'm secure in who I am, and I'm gonna keep wearing the hats. I'm gonna keep wearing the hats.
Because I judge you enough as it is. So what's a little more?
That's right. What's a few more judgments? That's all right. That's all right. You guys can catch us on Spotify. There's the you go to Spotify, search the All Good Podcast, look for the Cruising with the Coaches. And obviously, we have our YouTube page. That's where the episode's going to be posted. You can go to the link right there. And we do have a Facebook page, and we'll have that link for you. Until next time, you guys, Lee and Julie signing out.